Let's turn our attention to Greg Newsome. I know you had some thoughts on Brown's 3D. Take us through that.
Well, look, it's no different than it's ever been for Greg Newsome. Now, look, you go back to Greg Newsome's rookie year in 2021, and I think we were all pretty pleased. He had missed a little time with injuries, but Greg Newsome played well and played really well on the outside. And then you got into 2022 with the drafting of Emerson. Greg missed some time. And then once Jim Schwartz got here in 23, I think they just, because of the coverage style that they like, which is basically get after the quarterback and play man, Martin Emerson, a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, just kind of fit better on the outside. And there was really no possibility of putting Emerson on the inside. It just wasn't for his body, for his athletic ability. It just wasn't the best spot for Martin Emerson. So I think Greg Newsome, kind of got pigeonholed there. And I think a lot of this for Greg Newsome, and, lucky for him, he's going to make a decent amount of money this year at over $13 million on his, on the final year of his rookie deal. I think Greg Newsome knows he's going into free agency and, they don't really pay nickelbacks. So, it's not that Greg's ever been, and I don't think Greg's ever really been a problem with this. But I think he's also not shied away from that. His desire is to play on the outside. And especially now, Greg just had a kid. He's, certainly eyeing free agency. What's going to be the next phase of, Greg Newsome's career? And, I just think if you're the Browns, I would make it an open competition. Who is the better guy throughout the summer on the outside? If Greg Newsome is better than Martin Emerson, then put Greg Newsome on the outside. If you maybe then want to kick him into nickel sometimes, I've said for years that maybe they should consider putting Denzel Ward on the inside if that is the greatest threat the other team is giving you. Given his injury history, I kind of understand why the Browns maybe have always been, a little hesitant to even consider that. But I think Greg Newsome deserves the opportunity on the outside here just as much as Martin Emerson does. And, both did not look stellar in 2024. So maybe making it a true competition, maybe you're going to achieve what you want in that all three cornerbacks are going to play on the level that they did in 2023.